Hey guys, welcome to another VPN tutorial by VPNtop10.com. Today, by popular demand, we are going to show you how to download torrents anonymously with the QBittorrent torrent client. And the way we're going to do that is by using a VPN and or proxy, which will allow you to change your IP address that torrent peers can see, as well as encrypt your torrent downloads so that your internet provider doesn't know what you're doing online. And the tool we're going to use to do that is called IPVanish, which is one of the best VPN services that you can buy currently. They're certainly one of the fastest, and they have a true logs policy. And we are going to give you, we're going to show you how to sign up for them. We've also got a coupon code that'll save you some money. So let's get started with this tutorial. So the first thing I want to do is show you what exactly it is that we mean when we say anonymous torrents. So we're just going to open a torrent file here, and this is a Linux torrent. So in case you don't know how to open magnet links, you can usually just click it and it'll launch in your torrent client, but you can also just copy the link address and then open QBittorrent and just hit the add from link button and it'll automatically appear right here. So you can just hit the download button. Okay, so now we're downloading the file, and if we go into the you can just click on the torrent and then click the trackers tab. And sorry, we'll click the peers tab. And you can see all these peers that are downloading the same file. And you can see the exact IP address that they're downloading the file from. And you can see the country that they live in. So this is exactly what we're trying to avoid. Most people don't want their entire IP address that are visible to all torrent peers, and you don't even have to be participating in the same swarm. If you have peer exchange or DHT or any of the tracker list lookup methods available, people can just search individual torrent swarms and capture lists of every peer that's sharing a file, even if they don't directly connect to the swarm. So this tool is going to allow you to effectively hide your IP address and replace it with a different anonymous IP address, so nobody will be able to trace the torrent download back to you directly. So we're going to show you how to do that now. I'd like to quickly introduce you to the tool that we're going to be using for the duration of this tutorial, and it's called IPVanish VPN. This is a company that I use personally because they're one of the fastest, most popular VPN services in the world. They're one of the few zero-log services, which means they keep no record of your connection history or VPN activity, so it's 100% anonymous. They do allow torrents on all server locations, and they even include a SOC 5 proxy, where most VPN services either don't offer this or they will charge you separately for it. And we're going to show you exactly how to use this proxy directly in QBittorrent to anonymize your torrent downloads, even if you don't want to use the VPN. So if you use our link, which is VPNtop10.com/QBit, QBIT, you can save 25% off any IPVanish plan while this offer lasts. If you do use this link, we receive a small commission, which will go towards supporting the site and making sure we continue to make awesome videos like this one. Thanks a lot. Fortunately, there is a tool that lets you quickly and easily anonymize your torrent downloads, so even your internet provider will have no idea what you're doing online. And this tool is called a virtual private network, or commonly known as a VPN for short. And what this does is it routes all your traffic, all your internet traffic, through a third-party server, and they will have servers in 10 or 50 countries around the world for you to choose from. And then that IP address of the remote server is the one that will appear in the torrent swarm. And they also add really strong encryption, which means that your traffic is scrambled so that third parties in the middle, in between you and the torrent peers, so this would include your internet service provider, can't actually read your traffic because it's been scrambled using really strong mathematical encryption. But this technology is really easy to use. One of the ones that we like the best and highly recommend for torrents is called IPVanish VPN. And while there are literally hundreds of VPN services, only a couple are actually suitable for anonymous torrent downloads. And the reason is most VPN services keep logs, and they keep records of what you've done online and what IP address you were assigned using their service, which makes it less anonymous. IPVanish, however, is one of the select few that doesn't keep any logs whatsoever, and they do fully allow torrent downloads on their network. So we are going to show you how to sign up for IPVanish, but first we're going to show you a quick demonstration of exactly how it works. So right now we're not connected to an IPVanish server, but you can see this is our current IP address. You can use a tool like iplocation.net, and this is the current IP address that we have from our internet provider, and the location is in New Jersey in the United States. Okay, it's quite easy to connect to a server, so we can just choose a country from the drop-down list here, and we're going to go with, where is Switzerland? And you can just tell it to connect to the best server or best city, and it'll automatically connect to the best server, and you just hit connect here. All right, so that was it. We're now connected, and it shows us our new IP address and location. So we have a virtual location in Zurich, Switzerland, and we can confirm this on the IP location check tool. We're just going to refresh it here. And look, there's our new IP address, and it says the location of the IP address is Switzerland. So this is now the address. If we use QBittorrent, this is the IP address that all our torrent peers will see. And it's completely untraceable to us because IPVanish doesn't keep logs. So in theory, a VPN should wrap 100% of your internet traffic, no matter what program is using the internet, and encrypt and route all that traffic through the server that you've connected to. And this basically always works as planned, but it's good to check to verify that things are working as you expect inside QBittorrent. But the question is, how do you check your actual IP address that your torrent peers can see? But there's actually a tool that allows you to do that. It's called an IP tracking torrent. You can go to checkmytorrentip.upcoil.com. I will have a link in the video description as well. And it will assign you a unique tracking torrent that allows you to add via magnet link to QBittorrent that will actually track the IP address that is visible to torrent peers. So right here it says this is the page, this is the IP address that you're accessing this page with. And then we're going to compare. So we know that this is the Switzerland IP address, and we're going to compare that to the QBittorrent tracking IP. So we're going to add the magnet link. So here we are. This appeared basically instantly. You can see it says the time, it says what software you're using, and this is the IP address that it is detecting. And that's good. That matches the one that we're accessing the page with. So it's not like it's routing our browser through the VPN tunnel and QBittorrent through our normal internet connection. And if you go into QBittorrent, so this tracking torrent is actually in there. And if you go to the trackers tab of that torrent, sorry, we just had to update that tracker. It actually will display your detected IP address right inside QBittorrent. So even if you close this window over here, you can always just leave this tracking torrent open 100% of the time if you want, and just verify your IP address here. So that's a neat little trick to have. All right, so next up, we are going to show you how to configure QBittorrent with a proxy instead of a VPN. And IPVanish includes a proxy, as we've mentioned before, so you can choose either or. A VPN is great because it's so easy to use and has strong encryption, but the one downside of it is that wherever you connect to the VPN server, so if you choose a European server and you live in the USA, you're going to get European Google results. You might get some websites that appear in other languages other than your own. Like if you go to Wikipedia and it's in Dutch. So a nice solution to that is you can use a proxy, which instead of routing all your traffic for every application through the VPN tunnel, instead you can only route QBittorrent traffic through the proxy tunnel and change only the IP address of QBittorrent. And the rest of your traffic will either be routed through your internet connection, your regular ISP connection, or you can choose to use a local VPN server for IPVanish and then just route the torrent traffic through the remote proxy server. And IPVanish's proxy server is located in the Netherlands, which makes it absolutely perfect for torrenting. So we're going to show you how to set that up next. Okay, so we're in QBittorrent, and in order to set up the proxy, you just have to go to the Tools, Options, and then click on the Connection tab here. And you can scroll down and you'll be able to see the proxy server option. But first we want to talk about the listening port. So if you use UPnP or NAT-PnP port forwarding, this is sort of an automatic technology that will detect what ports are being forwarded through your router and route them appropriately to your torrent client. This is recommended for most people. However, if you decide to manually forward ports through your router instead, or if you have trouble using this technology and you're getting really slow speeds like 10 kilobits a second, and you manually pour the port through your router, make sure that you set that port manually here. But otherwise, just check this box. You don't have to worry about it. So to enable the proxy server, first we're going to go to Type, and you're going to select SOCKS 5, which is the latest version of the SOCKS proxy server. But now we need to know what the host address is. Well, in order to get that, as well as your username and password for the IPVanish SOCKS proxy, we're going to have to log into your account. And obviously, yes, you will have to have signed up for IPVanish in order to access this. So you just go to IPVanish.com. Once you've signed up, log into your account, and we'll show you how to do it from there. All right, so here we are logged into our IPVanish account, and all you have to do is click on the SOCKS 5 proxy tab. And we are going to show you how to get your proxy login credentials. Now, it's very important to note that your proxy username and password are not the same as your VPN username and password. And the reason for this is a security reason, is that a proxy often sends the login credentials in clear text, meaning they're not encrypted, meaning if somebody is listening to the proxy server, they could steal your VPN credentials if your proxy used the same login and password as the VPN. So that's why they have these randomly generated credentials for the proxy, and you can click this button and reset them anytime you want. So you can just leave this window open, and we're going to copy and paste your username and password in the next step. And you can also make note of the host name here, which is ams.socks.ipvanish.com. That is the address of the proxy that we're going to use in QBittorrent. Okay, so let's go back to QBittorrent here. We've already selected that the proxy type is SOCKS 5, and the address is ams.socks.ipvanish.com. That is the only proxy server address they have, so don't try to put in a different one. It won't work. The port number is 1080, and currently that is the only port number available. Okay, so here is what we want to make sure you select. First of all, you want to make sure to use the proxy for peer connections. If you don't select this, it will only use the proxy for tracker connections, and your peers will still be able to see whatever your underlying IP address is, because those peer connections will be routed outside the proxy tunnel. So make sure to connect this so your peers only see your anonymous proxy IP address. We want to disable all connections not supported by proxies. So if there's some sort of like DNS lookup or something that can't use a proxy, we want to disable it so you never have anything that's routed outside the proxy tunnel again. And then there's this box that says use proxy only for torrents. But no, we don't want to use it just for torrents. We want to use it for every single thing that QBittorrent does. So we want to make sure to leave that unchecked. Okay, and then you need to check this little box here that says authentication, which will allow you to enter your username and password that we get from our IPVanish account panel. So we're just going to copy and paste that now. And as you can see, remember I told you about the security issue and why they have a separate username and password. It's here because they said the password is saved unencrypted. So we're going to go ahead and just copy in our username and password and then hit apply. All right, so we've got our login information in there, and we're just going to hit apply real quick. And then you can hit OK. It is usually a good practice to restart QBittorrent just to make sure all the settings take effect. So we can exit here, and then we'll open it back up. So the first thing we can see is if we check on our tracking torrent here, you can see the IP address is actually different than it was before. And if we want to go to the tool, check my torrent IP, we can actually check the location of this IP address by typing it in manually. And I will bet you will see, sorry, not check my torrent IP, but check my IP location. And you'll be able to see that it is in fact located in the Netherlands. So we're going to go iplocation.net. And the IP address is 81.171.98.113. You just hit enter, and it will show you this is the location of your IP address. So you can see that everything's working as expected. The tracking torrent is showing a different IP address from your underlying browser IP address. And it is showing that, in fact, the proxy is located in the Netherlands. So everything is working perfectly. So that's basically all you have to do for the proxy setup. And you'll be happy to know this works just the same whether you use it with the VPN on or the VPN off. I do recommend using it with the VPN on if you're very safety conscious. You can choose a nearby VPN server so you get the fastest possible speeds and you have the benefit of really strong encryption so your internet provider cannot see what you're doing online, because while the proxy will change your IP address, it does not actually have any built-in encryption. So it won't provide any anonymization in that regard. Your internet provider, if they were snooping on your traffic, could still see what it is that you're downloading. However, if you do decide to use the proxy by itself because you want faster speeds, because if you use both of them together, it might be slightly slower speeds, you can actually use QBittorrent's built-in encryption function. Okay, so if you want to add encryption for the proxy and you don't want to use the VPN, you can, QBittorrent does have a lightweight encryption option that's built in that allows you to encrypt your torrent headers. And the way to do that is you go back to the options menu and we go to BitTorrent, and there's an encryption mode setting. And there's a couple of choices. You can choose prefer encryption, require encryption, disable encryption. Now, if you choose prefer encryption, this will use encryption when available, but when it's not available, it'll just connect to peers with an unencrypted connection. So that's, that's helpful, but it's not ideal. So if you want to make sure that all downloads are encrypted with QBittorrent, you want to choose require encryption. Okay, so if you're ready to get serious about keeping your torrent downloads anonymous and you're ready to sign up for IPVanish, we're going to show you exactly how to do it. It takes about 2 minutes, and we've even got an offer that they've got running right now for us that will give you 25% extra off any VPN plan from IPVanish. So here's how it works. First, all you got to do is go to vpntop10.com/qbit. It's vpntop10.com/qbit, and that'll take you right to the link with the 25% off built right in. And you just click here to start now. Okay, so you can see the coupon is built in here. You get 25% off your first 3 billing cycles. And obviously there's a substantial discount if you pay for 1 year up front. And also you're going to get the advantage of being able to get this discount for 3 years if you want, because that's your first 3 billing cycles. Instead, if you chose a 1 month plan, you'd be paying $7.50 a month instead of under $5, and you would also get the discount for the first 3 months. So it's worth considering opting for this to take maximum advantage of the offer. And all you have to do is enter your email here and make sure to use a valid email address, because this is how, it's your username, it's how you recover your password, and it's how you confirm your account. So if you use a fake email address, you will not be able to validate your account. They do take multiple forms of payment, including major credit cards. I usually just use PayPal because it's quick and easy. You can also pay anonymously with Bitcoin if that's something that you're into. And we just want to let you know that if you do choose to sign up through our link, we will receive a small commission if you subscribe to IPVanish, and it goes a long way to help us keep making awesome videos like this. So we really appreciate it. Okay, so now that you've downloaded and installed the IPVanish software, I do want to go over some recommended settings to use while torrenting. So if you go into the settings menu here, there's a couple of things that we should probably go over. We'll start in the general settings. So one of the first things I would like you to do is just in the closing menu here is you want to make sure, at least this is recommended, that when you hit the close button up here, that it hides the application of the tray. It doesn't actually quit the application because you don't want to accidentally shut down the VPN and not realize it when you're torrenting. So either I'd say hide it to tray or show the dialog and ask whether you in fact do want to close the VPN connection. So that's number one. Number two is for the protocol of choice. You have all these choices here. OpenVPN UDP is going to be the fastest and best choice for most users, and it is ideal for torrenting as well as high bandwidth activities like video streaming. And then we also recommend you use the kill switch. And what this does is if the VPN connection drops accidentally, it will instantly kill your internet access. And the advantage of this is it makes sure that your true IP address never leaks out to torrent peers outside the VPN tunnel in the case of a VPN failure. Now, this doesn't happen very often, but it's just good to have the fail-safe in place. And then you might want to also enable these two checkboxes. They're not as important for torrenting, but preventing IPv6 and DNS leaks. No reason not to do it. OpenVPN port, it doesn't really matter which one you choose. 1194 is usually going to be faster. If you choose to obfuscate your OpenVPN traffic, I would switch it to 443. You don't need to check this box usually, but if you find that your internet service provider or maybe your network administrator is throttling or even trying to block VPN traffic, then this checkbox will help you get through the blocked traffic. And then just one final tip here. IPVanish does have the option to let you rotate your IP address every X minutes, so you can set a time limit and it will change your IP address. We don't recommend you do this while torrenting because there's a brief period where it disconnects and then reconnects, and in the interim, the torrent client will probably reconnect to the internet outside the VPN tunnel. So it's recommended you leave this unchecked. All right, that's pretty much it. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video, and happy torrenting. Have a good one.